The visual matrix process consists of 3 distinct phases. First, participants are given time to look at the stimulus material. Then the group sits together in a special formation to reflect on images present to their minds. Thirdly, the seating is rearranged for a facilitated plenary discussion. In this example, the stimulus material is an exhibition of photographs taken in Chandigarh, India and Lahore, Pakistan. The participants have been asked to view the images at their own pace and to allow whatever images, feelings and sensations that arise to do so. This phase of the process lasts around 10 minutes, during which time there is no verbal interaction between the participants. The emphasis is on the individual's own internal viewing experience.
Okay, has everybody had a good look? I think you have. You just take a seat, any seat, without moving it.
In the next phase, the group are seated in a formation known as the snowflake pattern. The chairs have been arranged like this, so that although the participants are in proximity, none is directly facing another. The group are asked to reflect on the images and sensations that came to mind during the viewing, and to vocally express them as they arise.
Allow any images, associated feelings, thoughts and ideas that have come to you as we've been looking at these photographs, these pieces of art. And if you feel it's appropriate, if you feel you want to share it, just bring those images out and speak it to the space. There's no obligation to do this, and there's no turn taking, you do it when you like.
Because of the formation of the chairs, participants address the space as much as each other.
It looks right, it looks real, it looks like it's part of everyday life, whereas it's not something you just, anything is just easily bought or grabbed hold of. They have to create something, and there's something interesting in that, I think.
Mm-hmm. So, an image that came to my mind as I was going through the exhibition was that of the assassination of President Kennedy in his motorcade and being shot at from a tall building.
Images that are vocalised prompt further associations that may include memories of lived experience or of other texts. Films, for example.
I get this, talking in movies and stuff, I get this Wild West, like spaghetti western type thing in my head when I'm looking at some of these, as if it is like the Wild West.
I think of the Wild West as dust balls and silence, and I imagine that this is going to be massively noisy.
One of the images reminds me of skulls and trophies, as if somebody has been collecting skulls from some terrible genocide. And it's not sinister.
Yeah.
This phase lasts for around 40 minutes, during which time associations between images accrete and interconnect.
There's a lot of sensible relics about this.
The sinews of the tusks, it reminds me of the first image of the wires. Kind of there's a link there. There's also a lot of images speak to a kind of underlying danger, feeling of danger.
Yeah. It reminds me of now. Now and here, and I think that's us.
Yeah, so
that's just us.
We see this otherness, don't we? We look at it and we think, oh, this is how bad it is over there, but we don't think things aren't always getting better here. They're not.
I think 20 years ago we would have looked at this and thought, wow, that's what poverty is.
Yeah.
And now we see a contrast of a beautifully brushed horse in a frock and a dress, and we see the starving horses, and I relate that to what I'm doing now and think, this is us, it's our politicians spending money on
poverty is coming to the surface, and it's no longer hidden.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've got visual images.
An image of an empty fountain.
An empty fountain,
A dried up fountain.
Yeah, concrete.
image of a fountain with frozen water, the water frozen in movement comes to my mind.
Beads of water going down a glass of beer. Cold beer. I'm getting thirsty.
To me that brings to my mind tears rolling down a face.
Beads of sweat, beads of beer.
I mean, the other thing was that this is normality. What you see is actually normal. That's everyday life.
Images of kind of very old kind of Western views of stuff like Dad's Army, right?
Mm-hmm.
Morecambe Wise Dad's Army, very kind of white British thing.
Mm.
And I also have the image accompanying that of Tintin in the Congo. Don't know if everyone ever read, you know.
I think for me it's much more Tintin, yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine Tintin running down these streets, because some of these streets have got the same sort of energy as maybe the cartoon strips.
Mm.
Yeah, and there's always got to be that sense of threat with Tintin,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the sense of adventure, and
People,
on being on the edge.
people with big mustaches.
and then the two guys
Really
come out with
big
their bow
moustaches.
hats. The Thompson.
Yes.
God, I know it's a Thompson twins. Actually, I think the connection between the cartoon and the sensation of these pictures is a really interesting one. That kind of resonates with me.
It's also partly the way that these pictures are done. You know, this picture. It reminds me of the structure of a cartoon strip as well.
Yeah, true, or a film strip of each.
I mean, of course, it doesn't carry on
frame by
deliberately in the
frame
same
by
way that a
frame.
cartoon strip does, but you can make it. You obviously, the way you associate them makes it follow on. So.
I mean, the image of Superman came to my mind quite early on when I was looking at the pictures, but I couldn't think of a reason for saying it. But now you've said that, I can see, you know, the image of Superman comes to my mind. Okay, shall we draw that to a close now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not quite 45 minutes, but I think it will do now.
In the final phase, after a break, the chairs have been rearranged for a more conventional plenary discussion in which the facilitator draws together the outcomes of the previous session. There isn't necessarily a sharp line dividing these phases, as during the discussion more images emerge, building on those offered previously. However, the emphasis now is on making and describing connections between the images and the themes that these suggest.
For me, I've got this image of Morecambe Wise. Yeah, with a feeling of danger and fear.
Unaware.
Unaware.
Carefree but unaware.
Fragility.
Fragility.
Longing.
I see the longing to be the Western world, but they're clearly so
The
lacking.
aspiration.
Yeah.
Longing or belonging?
Longing.
Longing for me.
Longing,
Certainly for me.
What about images? Because this is like an image to me. It's just like they're frozen together, you know. So for me, the image of Gandhi comes out, and he's real, and he's an actor.
I mentioned Martin Luther King before. Well, I can see Martin Luther King and Gandhi having a rap battle, because there's this video on YouTube where they have this rap battle, and that's what I'm seeing that.
Oh yeah, right now.
So it seems to me that the way I see this, it's almost as if you've got Gandhi and Martin Luther King as a kind of Morecambe and Wise, yeah?
You could have a Morecambe and Wise rap battle.
I've got an image
Gandhi, Barrel of Life.
from Homeland. Don't you watch Homeland? It's the best thing ever on TV. Of when he was stood on the roof with the sniper rifle, terrorist.
So sniper.
Yeah.
Sniper.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
see. I remember that really exciting episode.
Which links to me to the assassination
Yeah.
of JFK.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the aerial view, the viewpoint, which you could think this is someone aiming or trying to get someone.
Aerial view, yeah?
Yeah.
There's quite a few of those, and they're all
Aerial.
from really weird perspectives, like the staircase, where you have to kind of turn yourself around, because it's like an optical illusion.
This makes me think of
There's quite a few areas, which is,
Superman as well.
I'm thinking Spider-Man really, because only Spider-Man
I've
can
got
cope with that.
Spider-Man before. Yes, a little bit. I can imagine.
General superhero thing.
Yeah, there is.
But the idea of the web as well.
The web, yes,
Yeah, the web.
the intricacy and the delicacy.
And
The web and the labyrinth.
We
I
had
think-
this thing about the cartoons, didn't we?
Yeah.
In with flat cat.
If we just pause and look at this a bit, I mean, is there something to be connected here? The danger and the fear, maybe connecting in with this.
Well, yeah,
For
the interesting
example.
thing about that is that Gandhi and Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy, they were all assassinated, weren't they? So that's I mean, we said
right.
assassination of JFK specifically, but we didn't mention Gandhi and Martin Luther King, but maybe unconsciously that's another association.
So these superheroes are often in great danger themselves.
Yeah. We see these people, coming in and saving everyone, but they're often the ones that are taken away.
That makes me feel Morecambe and Wise is sort of like proper heroes who can take us away from that kind of danger.
The carefree part of it, aren't they?
Carefree, unaware and carefree was a.
Well, the carefree did come up, which is completely different to unaware, isn't it, really?
So carefree question mark, yeah.
So I'm getting a bit upset that you've left poverty out of the danger and fear thing you said. Poverty's my big
It's connected to it, isn't it?
You need to get that in.
There's a funny kind of connection between that and this, isn't there? Those are some of the images, but does anyone have in mind some more images from the matrix that we can continue kind of developing?
I still struggle with the word image because as somebody who writes, it's words that came out of me. And one word that came through looking at the whole thing that kept coming back was support. And things like the wall up there, which you think if you take one piece out, the whole lot's going to go. That I felt like it was a whole society that if one thing wasn't supporting another, even things like all the guys in there squashed into the van, you take one guy out and the whole lot's going to tumble.
It's like a Jenga game, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the one word that to me was the whole of the exhibition was support.
And I think that what's just coming out here is we can see how, although you're talking about it in terms of words, actually it's supported by the images of scaffolding, the wall, the bricks, the image of the money transfer.
As this phase of the process draws to a close, there is opportunity to discuss how this unique method has encouraged a deeper interpretation of the photographs.
Now, I did feel that we were getting deeper and deeper in my own understanding of the work the further we went on, in that first stage thing.
Did you feel it managed to give you different perspectives, maybe, on something that you got your own personal
I think it's just
perspective on?
confirmed things that I'd already suspected, but just never really given a second thought about it.
It's helped me to look at the pictures in more detail and spot things. I mean, I know that wasn't the sort of purpose of it, but it's helped me to spot things like the candy floss man who you wouldn't see at a glance, and it helps you to. It's a bit of it's a kind of immersion, without actually going there. It's an immersion in a sense of place.
I mean, to me, it's not just your own, each individual's idea, but it kind of means something to other people too. So that's an interesting part of it too. So maybe we better
Come on, you've one more
draw to a close there. Okay. So thank you.
That was great, Julian. Thank you.